technology into the classroom. And so everybody has a folder on their desk. And so on the left side, we have our agenda for today. And then on the right side, there's a couple of pieces of paper that are about our data for the school, and we'll go over those. Then we have topics for our activity for the day, and then at the end is a post assessment. So I just want to go over the information there. So we will go ahead and get started. All right, so I want to start the presentation off with the school mission and the vision. I think that a lot of things that we do, we forget to gear it towards a certain goal or the school itself. So I wanted us to go ahead and review the mission. So the mission of Old Dominion Elementary is to cultivate 21st century lifelong learners who will perform on or above grade level in the Common Core standards with a focus on literacy and math. We will use frequent assessments to drive effective instruction that is student-centered and provides multiple opportunities for their improvement and enrichment. And so the most important thing to look at for this with the integrated technology is we're trying to bring up 21st century lifelong learners. And so something that's really important right now is technology. So if we are expecting our children to later on be successful, we need to introduce these things in the classroom. Literacy and math are two main areas, and so we will get into that a little bit, and to a little bit of science as well. And then the assessments is what we're going to get into after the mission. And so that's important because it's going to drive really what the instruction, what are we choosing to teach our children here at Oldman. The vision for our school is, that Oldman Elementary will be a learning community where all of our students excel academically and are prepared to be lifelong learners who serve as responsible citizens in our diverse society. And so really Alderman really focuses on education through creativity. And we want to get them ready for definitely a diverse world. The pre-survey is what you all did last night. From the survey, I got the feel that we can all agree that we do want to have more technology in the classroom. However, we don't always have the resources. So from Ms. Angel's survey, I did see that you said that we don't have one computer in our classrooms, which is true. So one of our main problems in a lot of the classrooms is that a lot of them are going down to only one computer per classroom. And so that's a problem. That's where we have to find other ways or other venues to reach our children with technology. Down at the bottom, everybody appears to be comfortable using technology sources they already know, but are interested in learning more. So today I'm going to give you a couple websites, and then we're going to go over 2 resources that will be really helpful in the classroom. So let's take a look at the data. So go ahead and open up your folders. The first one that we're going to take a look at is the TWC. This is also known as the Teacher Working Conditions Survey. So this is a survey that Alderman does about every 2 years. So there is, on one side, there is a 2012, and then on the other side is the 2014. So it was just taken. So there were 4 areas that I wanted to focus on for this project. So at the top, teachers at Alderman felt that they had a sufficient amount of time to meet student needs. And so in 2012, it was at 55.6%, and then in 2014, it was at 52.8%. And so we do see a decline in that. And so with us not having a sufficient amount of time in the classroom, we do or are looking towards having our parents more a part of that instructional time, doing more things at home to help support what we're doing in the classroom. Then as we go farther down, it's talking about how the teachers felt that they don't have sufficient access to appropriate instructional materials. So that also has to do with computers. We don't have the computers in every classroom for every child. And then some of us can't even go down to the computer lab to use it regularly, like in pre-K. Down at the next one, the teachers at Alderman felt that parents and guardians supported the teachers and contributed to teacher success with students. This one did drop as well, and so that goes again with the top one, saying that we're looking for them to support us and to help us and contribute to their success. However, we have seen a decline in that. And then at the bottom, I put this one in. It wasn't necessarily a decline. It was an increase by 0.3%, but we felt it wasn't sufficient. So this is a professional development program. It's going to be differentiated to meet the different needs of the teachers that are here today. And so that's something that needs to be focused on in all schools, making sure that we're doing professional development that apply to everybody, and if they don't, we're bringing in people that can help them apply to everybody. Okay, so we will go in, if you did want to at a later time look further into the teacher working survey, I did put asterisks next to the parts that were important to you for this presentation. And then so now we're going to move on to the EOG results. So as we look at this, up at the top we have the EOGs overall. So it puts together 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade. And so here we can see where our percentages are for 2014. This was our end of the year testing percentages. So reading at the 43.9, the math at the 44.4, and the science at the 38.6%. And so then as we further look into this, over to the right side, we see that the African American students, we have their percentages, as well as the Hispanic students. And so that has been a focus of this school, is to really make lessons geared towards them to help them learn better in the classroom. And so as we're looking at this data, we can see that that is something that we need to continue to work towards. And so one thing that is really important for those groups is, and normally they say African American males are really ones that struggle, is they do focus on like doing sports type things. They like to do things that are active, out of their seat, and they do enjoy being more towards technology-based activities. So that's something that is straightforward, that goes with this presentation, and so it'll be things that will be important to them. And then still, down at the bottom, when we're talking about the subgroups, we'll move on to the Swiss discipline. That's the next group of data that's inside of your packet. This goes right along with the PBIS model. So on the top one, it's basically talking about the referrals per day per month. And so up here, we do see that March had the most. And so they said that it was 1 referral per day during that month. And so we can probably attribute that to having all the snow days, being out, inconsistency. So that is something that affects them. And then down at the bottom, the number 2, at the most number of referrals, we see that physical aggression and then mild physical contact were what we had the most problems with at our school. And then this is going to directly relate to the next one that comes up, number 3, that's about location. Most of the referrals happen in the classroom. So that's saying something to us that we're not doing something in the classroom. So we're either not engaging the students, they're not interested in what we're teaching, there's something that has to change there. And so further on down the next one, turns to the next page of number 5. So number 5 basically breaks it down into ethnicity. And so as we can see that the black students basically had the most referrals. And then if we look over to the side on the right, it says the percentages with the light one, it's the percent of students with referrals, and then the dark one is supposed to show the percent of enrolled students. So as we can see, the amount of enrolled students is less than the amount of students with referrals. So that tells us that basically a lot of the children were reoffenders. They were regularly getting in trouble and getting referrals. So that's something that we definitely need to pay attention to as we're going further into trying to make sure that we're creating lifelong learners and engaging them in the classroom. So right now we're going to take a virtual field trip to the Amazon rainforest. And so this is an excellent tool that allows children to explore places they may have never been or may not have an opportunity to visit. And so we're only going to do about 3 minutes of this. And I'm going to talk you right to the dawn.
Welcome to the Amazon rainforest. And get ready to see some exotic plants and animals that you won't see anywhere else in the world. As you know, rainforests are one of the Earth's major habitats. Habitats are areas that share the same weather, plants, and animals. Tropical rainforests are located around the world in Central and South America, parts of Africa, Asia, and Australia. They are usually found close to the equator. Millions of years ago, rainforests covered most of the earth. This is where the dinosaurs once lived. Now they cover only 7% of the earth, but are home to half of the world's animal and plant species. Today, we are going to explore the South American rainforest in the Amazon basin. It is the largest of all the rainforests. The Amazon rainforest is about 2.5 million square miles, a bit smaller than the 48 states of the U.S. Here, you'll find more than 1,600 species of birds, 230 kinds of snakes, 600 different mammals, 40 different turtles, and 70,000 kinds of insects. Many of these species can't be found anywhere else in the world. You will also hear this rainforest called Amazonia Amazon River runs through it. The Amazon is 4,000 miles long and is the second longest river in the world. As their name tells us, rainforests get much more rain than anywhere else in the world. It usually rains about 260 inches each year, but can reach as much as 400 inches. Not only is it wet, it is also very warm, since it's so close to the equator. The average daily temperature is usually between 86 and 95 degrees. A wet and warm region like this means that everything grows well. This explains why the trees are so incredibly tall. Some parts of the rainforest are in mountainous areas. Up high, the treetops are always covered in a rainy, wet mist. They appear to be in the clouds, which is why these areas are called cloud forests. The Amazon.
So this is just one of the virtual field trips that is offered online. As you can see over to the right side, there are other different types of virtual field trips online. And so that's one resource that you can use definitely for the places that we might not be able to travel from our classrooms. So it gives them a real view of places that they could visit. And so we are going to move down into the two types of technology-based activities used in the classroom. Okay, so the Edpuzzle and the Educannon. So, the first thing that I want to discuss with you all is the flipped teaching or flipped classroom, and what the idea of that is. Does anybody already know what the idea of that is? Okay. So really the flipped teaching wouldn't be that easy for younger classrooms. It's probably better for older classrooms. And if your principal is saying that they would be open to it, then this would be something that you might be interested in the classroom. So for the flipped classroom, what it basically means is that instead of children going home to do their just homework, basically you're teaching everything in the classroom and they're going home to do homework. Instead in this classroom, they go home and they learn everything at home. And so one thing that's really important for this before you start is to survey your parents at the beginning of the year to find out if they have internet access or computers at home, and then otherwise you'll have to send the information a different way. But basically they're learning all the information at home, either through lecture or websites like these two, or they're, and then when they come to the classroom, it's actually instead of the teacher teaching the lesson, the teacher's more doing engaging hands-on activities to further enhance what they've already learned. And so that way the teacher can facilitate, walk around the classroom, really figure out, okay, who's having a problem with this, who isn't, and really work individually. And then it also allows children that are at the top to help the other children while that teacher's walking around facilitating and really engaging them in whatever the classroom activity is. And so really it said online that there were a lot of people that have been successful with this. So it would be up to you to try and see how it works. But it was a really interesting concept. So basically, I wanted to take us into some of the activities that they do to create this flipped classroom. And so the Educannon is more for the older classrooms, whereas the Edpuzzle is more towards, you can use it in the younger classroom. And so even if you didn't do this idea of a flipped classroom, it's still a good tool to use for your classroom, regardless. So we're going to do the one that I created. And then you are going to create your own. So this is the website, the Edpuzzle. I thought this one was easier and it geared towards more of our children. So down here, I can assign the video and basically give you an opportunity to, like if I have multiple classes, I can assign that assignment to that specific class. And so for me, I just assign it to my class, and then I prevent the skipping, and then I save my assignment. And so then I would give this code to my students, and then they register into the class, basically. And then so this was mine. And so I'm entering it as a student, and it's basically going off of the virtual classroom we just, or the virtual field trip we just saw. Okay, so wait a second for
Welcome to the Amazon Stores. You're ready to see some exotic
I was able to add my voice. And so you can add in whatever basically you want to say. For this specific recording, I went off of kind of what they said online already. So down here at the side, you can put in different types of questions, either true or false. You can put in comments, or you can put in just a question that they have to be open-ended and they're not giving me a yes or no answer. So this first question was, what are habitats? And this was the answer that I gave. So for them, when they see it, it'd be blank, but this is the answer that I want them to put into their question box. And so it's answers, so I press continue. Tropical rainforests are located throughout the world in South America, parts of Africa, Asia, and Australia. Okay, so this is where we see the true and false. Tropical rainforests are located in Europe. And actually it's pointed at the wrong one, but it's actually false. It should be the false one. They are usually found close to the equator. Millions of years ago, rainforests covered most of the earth. This is where the dinosaurs once lived. Now they cover only 7% of the earth. Okay, and then I was able to put in my comment. So instead of asking them a question, it was just a comment to make them think about what they had just talked about in the video. And so I said they only cover 7% of the earth. Can you believe it? And so then they can keep on. They are home to half of the world's animal and plant species. And then this last one is a series of questions. So I basically, this was for a dialogue. So for me, when I came up with these questions, it was so, if I'm doing a pre-K classroom or a kindergarten classroom, and I want to just ask them questions that's going to make them imagine, think about what they had just seen, I kind of just wanted to make them simple questions. So basically, I would stop, I would ask them to tell me something they learned about rainforests today. So then they'd give me something. What type of animals did you see? What color were those animals? Would you like to go see one day? And so basically, just that gets them to investigate and kind of just think about the things that they want to see in the rainforest. Would they want to go there? What type of things they might see? So I only did a minute of this, but you can really do the whole video if you wanted to. And so that video was about 26 minutes. So you can put your own voice into it for the full 26 minutes if you wanted to. And then put in questions throughout for them to answer. Okay. So now that the video is done and they've answered the questions, it should allow me to. It might do it better when I do y'all's, since I did it myself already, but it does allow you to show the progress. It shows up a little differently on their side of the page, but this is for me as a teacher. This is what it would look like, and it would tell me who has already answered the questions, what percentage of the students got them right, what students got them wrong, and then, let's see, this part. And it really just gives you a good idea of what level your class is on, what stuff you need to go back into. You really have to explore to really see. And so you have your student progress overview, how many times the video has been viewed, how far they got into the video, or did they stop it and go back. It tells you all that information. And then we go down here and it really tells you to answer the quizzes. As you can see, number 2 is wrong. So it does have it highlighted telling you that that question was answered wrong. And then you can check each student. So you have your previous student up at the top and then your next student. And so as you can see, of course, 0% have done it yet. But you definitely assign it to them. You can block skipping ahead so that students can't skip ahead. They have to actually listen to the whole thing. You can put lessons into it. Upload your own videos. Like if your class wants to create a video, you can upload that. Yes, ma'am.
I have a quick question. Seeing that you have majority of the students here on the group are Hispanic, how do you make it really appropriate to meet their needs if they don't speak English?
Right. That's the one way we would have to translate. And definitely with like the pre-K, we do have translating people that can help us out translating different things. We have those resources. We just have to reach out to them. Other ways would be we probably would have to go onto Google ourselves and translate to help us figure that out. But that would definitely take further investigation on the teacher's part to make sure that we are making sure that we're meeting that need. And so what you all are going to do today is you're going to work in teams to create your own puzzle. And I will show you the educating as well. This one's a little bit different, but for the most part, the same thing. With this one, you enter the title at the top, you can do the learning objective. So let's say that my learning objective is to, let's see, integrate. What was that? Let's see. So then I can select the grade, I can select the topic, and then I can select the subtopic as well. And then down here, I actually can find a standard that meets it. And then you can actually post the standard as well. And then you can do the same thing, you would take the video from the website and then paste the URL down there. And then it still allows you, as you can see over to the right, it allows you to crop the video, add questions, and then finish it as well. But it does give you that extra insight into like the standards, like the other one doesn't though. And then you can assign due dates for this one, and you do up to 8 classes, and assign when it is due, when it has to be viewed, and then it'll close off on a certain date. And this is just a blurb of each of the videos that's available to them. And then it allows you to monitor question by question the grade. I don't have a class there yet, it doesn't show up yet. And so that one was a little harder, so that's why I wanted us to stick to the Ed puzzle for today. And so what we're gonna do is we are going to look at the topics. So go into your folder and you have a list of topics. I'm gonna take us to, if we were creating it on our own. So I'm gonna log out and I'm gonna start from the very beginning. So let me help you get the computer. So you can bring up your computer. You bring up your computer as well. So we're gonna sign up. And either or. And then Amanda, you sign up over here. Okay. Miss Angel, you want to do yours? And you just have to sign up for it. And then that'll get it started. Okay, so using that paper that you have in there, I want you to choose a topic. And so with that topic, you can go on to YouTube.
Create the class first, Ms. Sanders?
Yes, let's do the tutorial real quick. You can go ahead and add your class.
So how do you add the class again?
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up a tutorial for you and show you how. Okay, so this is a video just to give you an insight into how to create it.
Hi and welcome to Ed Puzzle. Yes, the video is working. It's not frozen. Actually, what you're hearing is an audio note. It's one of the features we enable teachers to use in order to take a video that is almost right and make it just right. So I hope you enjoy the video and understand exactly what we do in Ed Puzzle.
let me explain you how it works. Let me explain you how it worked in my classroom. My students can watch a 10-minute video. I mean, most of them. But I'm sure in your classroom it happens the same. So we allow you to crop a video and use only the part that you need. Don't use anything else, only what you need in your class. Let's say my students love a Khan Academy video. I can only use 1 minute of that video because it's the thing I'm explaining in my classroom. Another thing that my students loved was my voice. They love to hear my voice in the video. That's true. I mean, and that's normal. Education is about building a relationship with the students. And that's what we do. We allow you to record your voice on top of the video so that your students will feel like you're with them in that video. And finally, even if you created the most engaging video that YouTube has ever seen, you don't know if they're watching it. You don't know if they understand what you're trying to explain. So you can finally add questions, embed questions during the video so that you can check your understanding during the video and check the effectiveness of that video.
Okay. So he's allowing us to answer questions just like I had done in my presentation. What is your favorite feature? And so I'm just going to record your voice and why I can use it.
And wouldn't it be great to have that data for each one of your students? You got it. You have each one of your students, and you can see actually what they need with that video. So that's a puzzle in 4 minutes. Remember, we're working really, really hard so that you can take a video that wouldn't work in your classroom and make it work. Make it effective and make it yours. Thank you very much for your time and patience with my accent.
Okay. So everybody has went ahead and signed up. And as you can see down here, it does ask you about the language that you teach. So it has different types of languages in here as well. Okay. So now we're at the point, is everybody on the screen? Does it look out? Okay. So down here, we have create video. And right now, you don't have any videos. So you can go ahead and go down to create a class. So we're gonna add the class. Go ahead down to adding the class before we do the video. Okay, and put your class name in there. And then save your class. And then we can create an assignment. That's another option. And then down here, we can watch to see if our students are going well. So we can go ahead and upload our video. It's better to do it directly this way instead of files. And then, so you would need to open up a browser for YouTube. And then, you've already chosen what you're going to do your project on. So go ahead and find, there should be a link designated There's two good, ones about the aquarium on there. The top one, she doesn't really move out of that place where she's at, with the person behind her, but it is still, they give a pretty good amount of information. And then at the bottom, that is another resource where you can have your children, it's usually set up through Skype, but you can have your children, sit in the classroom, and then wherever the people are, they have all of them lined up, and you'll actually see it in that video. You have all the different classrooms lined up to watch it, and they just have to log on to a specific, what is it called? Like a specific webpage to get in touch with what's going on. You can use that one if you want to. That's the step, what is the second one? Yeah, it's this one or it's the other one. Oh, that one doesn't work. Type in virtual picture with it. That's easy.
YouTube is not working on his computer, however, I showed Jason Franklin, typed it in and found a cool video.
Oh, you found it?
So it's already, so I just put it in circle.
Did you try to open it?
Maybe clicking too much, I'm not used to Macs.
Oh yeah, they're rough. That's why I brought a mouse to go with it.
I don't know what I did. Oh dear.
Are you getting an error still on yours?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I can't look at the video or anything. School Wi-Fi?
Is that probably why?
Sometimes a lot of times YouTube doesn't want it. I get that error a lot.
You found one on the website, Amanda?
Yes. But when I click on it, it won't play, so I don't know what to edit, crop out, stuff like that.
Well, I guess it doesn't look like it's taking any YouTube clips at all. So I guess we get the general idea of what it does. Because what you're gonna do is you would come into it with the video, and then it basically takes you step by step of how to do it. So it first would have you crop the video to make it as long or as short as you want it to be. And then the next thing that you have the opportunity to do is put your voice in it if you want to. You can leave it with their voice. I did see some that had music, so you can put music in the background if you just wanted music to play, maybe you wanted to talk up front. And then as you go further in, then you just do the questions, either open-ended, you do true or false, or you can do just comments. just to make note of something for them. And then in the end, it does give you the data and everything to go with it. It's definitely good for an older classroom, younger classrooms. Maybe you don't want to use the data, but you still want to use the information or the technology, and so it's still something that you can use in the classroom. So since the YouTube's not working, we will go ahead and move on to something else. Okay, so this next resource is actually something that I'm using in my classroom this summer. I'm teaching about reading comprehension mainly, everywhere from kindergarten through 7th grade. And so one of the resources that I use is Mr. Nussbaum. And so what his website basically does is it gives you different categories of things you can do, but since I'm focused on reading, I do reading comprehension with them. And so it's geared towards each grade level. And one thing that I like about it is that he's picked topics that basically children would be interested in. And so with my children, I do everything from dolphins. With my middle group, it's about 3rd and 4th grade. Because I know that we need to get ready for the Read to Achieve test, I knew that reading comprehension for them especially was important. So we do about 1 or 2 of them a week for them, and then the other ones is more sporadic because we do other type of activities with the other 2 age groups. But with my middle age group, we did Benjamin Franklin last week, and they loved that. And from the Benjamin Franklin, it allowed me to, what they're doing this week is they were able to do autobiographies and biographies. And so they either could do going off of their life, and so create a biography for me that way, or they could do it off of whoever the person they choose. And so my children wanted to focus on African American leaders. And so from there, from using these resources, I was able to go online and basically give them a topic or a person to research. And so through that, they're going to present to the class what they researched. And so that all was brought about because I used the website, and basically they were so interested in it that they wanted to do their own. And so from there I could do lessons that came off of their investigation or what they're interested in. And so I'm going to take us to his website, right here. And so down here, this is where you can do that differentiation. So there's the printable reading comprehension on the left side, and then on the right side, the online reading comprehension. So even if you did have the students that don't have computers at home to use or couldn't use them with their parents, you can print them out and they can actually use them at home with their parents. And so I will bring up a printable one for us. Okay, and so it does go lower than this, but I'll go ahead and choose 2nd grade. So let's say we want to do Bluebell, sure. And so it actually gives you the PDF. And then so they can first read about it, and then it gives them questions that they are to answer after they read through it. So that's normally what I do for them. They have about 10 minutes to read through, and then I give them time to answer the questions, and then we further talk about the text. They tell them what happened beginning, middle, end, what's the main idea of it, and then with the younger children, you can definitely change it for that age group. And I will take us to the interactive one as well. And then you do have your different topics up here also. If you want to do math, language arts, history, you can do that as well. And so this is the online one. Let me just see the first way they show on this one. So let's say Morning Penguins. So this allows us to go in to read about it first. Usually with the younger group, I do read it to them. And then we review it right before we go into the questions. And then we do our questions as a group. And then I just ask them to raise their hand and let me know, tell me the answer. And so let's say it says, which is not a predator of penguins? And so A, seal, B, killer whale, or C, hawk. So let's say I want to choose hawk. It's actually correct. But if I would choose the wrong one, it's going to tell me, not perfect yet, please try again. And so then I can move on to the next question, or I can show all questions as well as we go through it. And then you have more questions that they have to actually answer, type it in and answer it, or write it in if you're doing it on paper. So that's just another tool you can use. I did have on my PowerPoint as well. He also has it so that you can use an app, And so his app is mainly geared towards math lessons. And so it does cost $1.99. So if parents wanted to purchase it, or it's something that you want to use in your classroom in like a math center, that type of thing, he does have it for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And so they can use this app. It's definitely something that they'd be interested in. They use the iPad in the classroom with this. These are just a couple other resources that I wanted to go over with you all. The fake book. Does anybody already know about the fake book? No, okay. So we're going to go into the fake book. So I'm going to show you the fake book that I created. And so my topic that I chose was Oprah. And so the main focus of the fake book is, of course, children do want a Facebook. Some of the parents don't choose to want them to have a Facebook, definitely because of all the things that are associated with having a Facebook. So this just gives them the opportunity to still have something that's an online resource, something that they put information into. I have seen it used in a classroom where the students actually do a fake book about themselves and they print it out. So that's also something, but for me, what I was gearing it towards is it's about a famous person. So on the left side, you write about when she was born, her family, and then on the right side, it was basically, I brought up events that happened in her life. And so then you're able to put in a picture just like on Facebook, and then you basically post a status. And so this was January 2nd, 1984, and this is when she had her first day on the Oprah show. And then this was her for the color purple, and then I was once again able to put a date with it and a status. And so this is good for a presentation when you want to, when the children want to talk about somebody specific. This is a website that they can use. And then off to the left side, it does allow you to put different pictures in. And so these are some of the friends that she had, and you can further talk about that as well. So that's another resource that we can use. And then the behavior app, the teacher assistant. So the teacher assistant, there are some other apps that I can definitely email to you later that you can use for behavior. This is just one that I found. So the teacher assistant, basically what it does is it's an app you can put on your iPad or your phone. And so what it basically does is you can go into it and then actually I can show you it. But you can go into it, and it actually is going to show you how many students, and then your classes, so you can divvy it up by class. And then you can do an email blast. So let's say at the beginning of the year, when you do your survey, you ask the parents for their phone number, their email, that type of thing, and ask them if they're comfortable with you putting it into this. And so basically what happens is, let's say that something happened to the child during the day. And so there's different colors that you would, I actually had sent one yesterday to see if it would work. See if it'll find it. But, well, basically, it's going to give you colors. So, like, red is like a -2, and then there's green. Of course, that's usually a good thing in the classroom if you have green. So if you want them, let's say that you don't want to say something to them every day about their child doing great every day or something bad. So maybe once a week you want to send them something. An email saying, your child had a great week, or today he did hit, so I did want to make you aware of it. So basically it sends them, you can write in notes to say exactly what happened. It asks you, did the teacher respond to it? What did the teacher do as a result of what happened? It goes through all of that, and then it either sends it in an email or the phone number, so a text message, if that's what the parent prefers. And so you have the opportunity to choose which one you want it to be geared towards. And so that was a pretty good app for you to use. And then definitely you can also use it for the email blast. So if you just want to get some information to your parents quickly, you do the email blast to everybody, and it's quick and easy to their phone. The Facebook and Twitter specific to your class. So a lot of people don't really think of doing a Facebook or Twitter for their class or their school, but it is something that would be good for the parents that necessarily they don't read newsletters, they don't check their emails daily, but they do have where your Twitter or your Facebook updates comes to their phone regularly. So this would be the same thing. They basically would set it up so that your phone gets immediate notifications. And so one thing to remember on these is that you're not posting pictures of children that you don't have paperwork on saying it's okay for them to be up there. Basically, you want them to have specific information, like, okay, this week we're having this in the class, we want to invite you to it. That type of thing should be posted on your Twitter or Facebook. It has been said that it shouldn't be something that happens often, but you do want to be consistent with it. So if they know that you're going to post something there every single week, then you should post something there every week, with Twitter or Facebook, whichever one you choose to post. Anybody have any questions? And then there is a pre-assessment, or post-assessment, sorry. There's a post-assessment inside of your folder. And so if you will just answer the questions in the post-assessment and then give them back to me at the end, that would be helpful. If anybody have any questions about the websites, I can send them to you.
What was the name of that app for the behavioral thing?
Teacher Assistant. And that one is free, and there's also the opportunity for, if you want to add certain things to it to personalize it, they do have, it's between $1.99 through $5.99, so it's your choice if you want to pay for that. But it allows you to do more things with it, as far as like grading, those type of things with the website or the app. No questions? No other questions? Well, thank you all for attending. And if you have questions later on, just send me an email or write it on your post-assessment, and I can get back to you on the information. Thank you all. Okay, since we had some trouble with the YouTube doing it individually, what we'll do is we're going to do it together. And so I'm going to choose the Seattle Aquarium. So what you're going to do is copy and paste this. So copy it. And then we're going to paste it into our edit. Okay. Would anybody like to volunteer to use the Ed puzzle? Come on, Amanda.
Okay.
So what do I do? So you're gonna choose how long you want the video to be with this first part. Okay.
Is this the cropping stage?
Yes, this is
Okay.
your cropping stage.
I'm gonna go with a fifth grade, half their age for their attention span, and go with about 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll do 4 minutes. Okay, 4 or 5. Okay, so now what?
Okay. So now that you've chosen your amount, it's up to you if you wanna play it and see how far it gets. Go ahead and play it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to your virtual field trip at the Seattle Aquarium. My name is Heidi, and today your dive buddy is diver Kate.
And as you can see at the bottom, those are classes of children, and they're watching it.
Talk to you from underwater. That's right.
And NASA does that as well, not just like aquariums. NASA does that where you can set it up
It covers my
for your
eyes,
children to watch it
nose,
live.
and mouth. So I can breathe as well, just like if I was standing next to Heidi out there. Now, that microphone that she's speaking of is right inside, and you can see, I'll bring them a little bit closer, stay right inside the mouth. That is the microphone that allows her voice to actually come over the house speakers here at the Seattle Aquarium and allows you to hear her as well. That's right. And it's plugged into our computer sound system so that you can hear me in your classroom. And of course, it works in reverse
Okay, so
too.
now that we cropped our video, and this will show you how if you wanted to, he does have the instructional videos throughout to show you what each item means or what it does, how do you do it. And so we already got this pretty much. So she's already cropped her video. So now she's gonna go to the top, and this is where she had audio track. And so this is where you have to make sure that your computer does have Adobe Connect, or it does have a way for you to, if you wanna put your voice into it, that the speakers are hearing you and putting the audio into the video. Okay. We can move on to note. Next, you can do audio notes. And so that's after you put in your full video's audio, you can then go back and put in different increments, basically where you want it to stop and put a note in for you. Okay, then we're gonna come over here, and this is where your quizzes are. And so, you can actually just show me the quizzes. And that's pretty much how long each tutorial is on each section, so if you want to find out more about it, you can click on it. It's about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. So then you can definitely add your different types of questions, and then you click down at the top. And then basically you're going to say, let's see if it's Spanish. So we're going to go to Spanish and see. Okay. Okay, so now you want to read it. And yes, mode.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to your virtual field trip at the Seattle Aquarium.
So that would probably be, that's for you to differentiate if you put it in a different language. So when you're going to give your video a title, so let's say this is specifically only for my Spanish students, then you're gonna click that so they know that's the video they're supposed to watch, and then otherwise, in English. And then you can upload more of them as well. Any questions?
So once you create a class, your students log in, and so after they do the
They get a code, so I'm gonna take us in right here.
so after they do the comments and quizzes, it actually scores them or something like that, you can see their responses.
I'm gonna save the assignment, and then you can go in as a student. So this over here, this allows you to do it as a student, and so basically you see what they see, you get your questions at the bottom, and then they'll bring it back up. And so what they do is when they come in, they get this code over to the side, and that tells them how to register and get into that specific video. All right, so we are going to make a fake book today. And so we just reviewed our fake book with Oprah. And so now we're going to go into fake book. And Miss Paris is going to do it for us. All right. And so with the fake book, first I need you to get a picture. So what you're going to do is you're going to open another browser. And then you're going to put in Rosa Parks. So your project is going to be on Rosa Parks. Okay, so pick a picture, save it as. We can put it in sample pictures, can't we? Did it say that it saved?
It did, well, I can just save as here.
Okay.
Where would you like it, sample?
Yeah, if that's like an area that's, yeah, general, that works. Go ahead and click on it, and then you'll browse.
I don't know why I didn't save, I'll try it again. That's weird.
I wonder if it'll show up on that one.
It did not.
Let me see. Okay, so now I want you to add the name. And then this is where you're gonna have to research, okay? So over to the left, we have the part where it's talking about born. And so now you need to open up, you can use that same browser that you have up, and
Okay.
you need to find when she was born, and then find out some information on her family.
Okay, here we go, over here on the right-hand side.
Okay, so you can either copy and paste, or you can, retype it into there. Okay, you're gonna erase where it says click here to add,
Okay.
and then go ahead and paste it in there.
Alright.
And then do the same thing for family.
Okay.
So you can look up some information and then paraphrase it into telling a little bit into her family life.
Okay. And over here, it's just born and family, right?
Yes.
I can delete, okay.
And if you wanted to, if you want your students to add more, they can. Those are the two main from the template to use. But if you want them to get more in depth with the person's family, you can definitely do that.
Okay, so information, it says she was of African ancestry, though her great grandfathers was Scott Irish and one. Can I use that information?
You can, that
Okay.
works. And then if you see farther down, it's talking about when her parents separated, she moved with her mother to Pine Level. You can say that she grew up with her, and also farther down, with the maternal grandparents, mother, and younger brother. So that could be just family right there as well.
And where do you?
About 2 sentences down, she grew up on a farm.
Okay, right
Mhm.
here. Okay, so would you rather me put that instead?
You can. If you want to put stuff in their descent, you can do that as well.
I do like that. Okay.
Do you want to add the other part?
Not really.
Okay. So then, also, you can go back to that page,
Okay.
and then you can choose a event that happened in her life. Choose an event that has a date that happened in her life.
I can choose December 1st, 1955.
Mm-hmm.
Just
So,
because
stands out there.
It stands out there. That's
Yes.
why. That's what facilitators are focusing on in their classrooms when they are talking about Rosa Parks. That's one of the things I feel that stands out.
Right, so that is a good reason to use it. So you can either copy and paste, or you can do it as in just saying 12/1/1955. And just go, because you're only gonna put it in that small block, so it's just gonna be the date that you need to put in that
Okay.
block. And then you're gonna have that information to put into the bottom part. So almost like you're updating your status on Facebook.
Okay, so you can put it right here.
Mm-hmm. So you're not gonna put the date part there. You see where it says date?
Yes, right here.
Yes.
You want the year as well?
1955. And then down at the bottom, if you want to put like a synopsis, like with the Oprah page, she talked about her first day. So I made it kind of like exciting as if she was writing this
And
paper.
she will, okay, so.
Mhm. So like today has been an awful day, and then maybe talking about what happened today.
How could I word this, because you know, I'm lengthy.
You could say, the bus driver demanded that I give up my seat to
white person.
And so now, from there, you can either add more information if you like to, or that can just be your status update, just like on Facebook.
Okay.
And so down here you see this picture icon, down on the right side. And so you can click on that, and so then you can upload a picture of what happened on that day. So yes, go back into the website, you can go to images, and maybe there's a picture that relates to that day. I like this. Yeah, that's a nice picture.
Or the, here we see. Yeah, it came up, it just didn't work.
And then it posts to your timeline, just like any Facebook would do. And so with this, you can update your status as many times as you like. And so if you want to do like a timeline of that person's life, so you can start at the early years, get into the middle teenage years, and then get into where they're having all these things happen in their life, and then a student could present it.
Okay.
And so off to the left side, you have the friends, just like on Facebook.
Okay.
So you have your friends list. And so over there, you could post pictures of maybe different people she was with, different things she did, and then you could further talk about it.
Okay.
So like on the over page, if you go back to that one, on the over page, it was showing, let's show that one, oh, it's down at the bottom. So if you scroll down to hers, she has different people that are important in her life. So the first one is her best friend, and then the second one is Tyler Perry, and then the third one is Stedman, down there Paula Deen, and then next is Michelle Obama, and then Nelson Mandela. So these are also influential people that you could further discuss in your project, or your children could discuss further in their project. And then you can definitely add new blocks at the bottom if you want to add more information. So it's definitely a tool that the children would enjoy using. And it's easy, user-friendly. And it's the background. Anybody have any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you,
You
guys.
pretty much answered everything.